I had to accept, I had to accept, I had to accept that I was powerless over self-medicating, that I could not stop on my own because I tried and I have very little discipline. I tried to stop drinking, I tried to stop smoking weed, I tried to stop self-medicating. So I had to accept that I had a problem. And after accepting I had a problem, then that was a great move to the next steps. Acceptance is even furthered, like I accept, that, I live in a little small casita, I don't live in a big house. There was some acceptance, like financially, for me also, like, because I always got to look at all the whole world and see what everybody else has, oh, they got this nice car, they got this freaking nice house, they got a whole family, my family's broken, I got a divorce, I have two daughters, one daughter doesn't even know me, or barely knows me, her mom never let me speak to her, she's separated from me, I had to accept those things, and that was some of my biggest resentments. The mother of my former child not letting me see my daughter, the government kind of pushing me away or not letting me have any rights, the fucking police. Man, I was just so angry. When I got sober, those were some things that I had when I did my inventory, were some of the first things, my former wife, just like, and that resentment, I just hated her, man. I just wanted to destroy, I just wanted to destroy the world. I hated myself. I was so angry. To come to acceptance for that took quite a while. I had to do a lot of reading. I had to do some deep soul searching before I was able to accept and forgive, Even my dad, I had resentments against my dad, I think a lot of dudes have resentments against their dad just growing up. When I was a kid, I got my ass whipped all the time, and my dad was very militaristic. He just wouldn't let me do shit, dude. I felt like I was in a bubble, and I couldn't get out of it. And I fought him along the way, and I just hated him, because I got whippings and I got my ears pea-schnooked and all that stuff, man, as a kid, and I couldn't wait to leave the house and join the military at 18 years old. I was like, I'm kicking myself out the house. And he's like, good. And I'm like, good, because I ain't fucking coming back here ever again, So when I got sober, that was a big resentment, my dad, But I have to accept he is who he is, man. I can't change people. I can only change this guy right here, I had to accept my former wife, who I was recently divorced maybe 8 years ago. I had to accept she's not going to change. She fucking hates my guts too, I had to do the change. And I had to accept my situation. I had to accept that I was broke. I had to accept that I only had a truck to live in. I had to accept that life had become unmanageable. My life was fucking unmanageable. It has been unmanageable even after sobriety. Thank God along the way I had these opportunities and I took advantage of. But it's easy to fall into that negativity for me. I love being in negative mindset. I love the world is against me. I love playing the poor me thing. I love complaining. I love that negativity. I could suck the fucking positivity out of anybody. Well, in the past, like my former wife, most positive bubble, butterfly, social, well-to-do woman. Man, by the time I had the divorce, man, I had sucked all her positivity out of her. At least that's what I felt, you know. It's like she just became angry, you know, upset with me and stuff, you know. So I also have to accept my part in all of these situations in the past. You know, what was my part of it? I had to accept that, you know, in a relationship, whether it be with my family, my mom, my dad, my brother, or other people, my boss, you know, colleagues, whoever, whatever, you know, I had to accept my part in those relationships that were broken, you know, and I learned a lot about that and doing inventory and learning about myself. And, you know, I did accept my part of it. I forgave myself and I forgave others. And that washed the big rucksack off my back. Like I'm humping through the desert with a freaking 500-pound pack on my back. You know, accepting my part. You know, just, I mean, the alcohol, the drugs, that was just like a symptom. That was just one thing, man. You know, that's like, you kick that, and then you got to deal with myself. In this case, I had to deal with Chad, and Chad's not self-medicating anymore. He's fucking sober and trying to figure out life because he was never sober. He hasn't been sober since he was like freaking 13 years old or some shit like that, you know? So I'm so accepting that I have to deal with life like head on, you know, like reality. That's a big growing up experience, because for me, even at 40 some odd years old, 42, I was still a kid, man. I have a kid's heart. I just want to party. I want to have a good time. I run away from responsibility. I run away from state to state. I run away to a different country. I'll run away from my problems the best I can because I don't want to think about it. I just want to have a good time, you know? My ego is just worried about this guy right here. So after becoming sober and a lot of reading and a lot of work, self-work, right? Because I am self-defeating, but self-work, learning about myself, learning about my habits, you know, learning about who I am, what I do, what I like, what I don't like, and then dealing with new relationships, being sober, man, I have to accept that I'm still growing, you know. My acceptance is far reaching, you know. I accept I don't have a lot, but I have exactly what I need, right? I don't have much, but I have exactly what I need. Keep coming back. It works if you work it.